Well, howdy. I guess what I would like to do is try to document a little bit how things changed since I first built my truck and started traveling around and living in it. I guess my goal here is to bring about the thought that you can have things change in your life and that doesn't necessarily have to affect how you get out and explore. That's why I want to call my channel the Underlanding channel, because it's kind of the opposite ethos of what overlanding culture is nowadays. When I started building this truck, it was all forums. YouTube wasn't super huge. It was a good resource, but most of this is just me hacking together a truck and spending way too much money on things that people would never understand. So what I'd like to do is just, get this truck back into shape. I built it back in 2013, and went into 2014. I've done a lot of things to it. I've taken it a lot of places. It only had 17,000 miles when I got it. So now it's at 52. I got my first puppy and she hung out with me in this truck. Then I met my wife and we toured around. We made 2 trips up to Alaska, spent all kinds of adventures in it. So I guess I just want to get this thing back into tip-top shape again, how it used to be, because it's been about 4 or 5 years since I've actually used it to its full potential. In fact, probably 6 years. Now it's only been getting like 1 or 2 trips a year. So the goal is to get all my high, like the high level maintenance things done and move on, and then also, document a few engineering projects I have. That was always kind of the fun aspect of this truck. I definitely was a little bit uncharted waters now back then versus now. There's a lot of different things. I'd probably end up building a van, but nowadays I can't even compare the benefits that people have now than they did in 2013, just from the community growing so much. However, that said, I do want to push people to just use what you have more versus trying to do crazy things like build the epic off-road truck, because what I found out when I got to the Arctic Circle is I could have drove a minivan there. And in fact, people have Astrovans up there. So what you have in your mind might not necessarily reflect reality, like thinking you need all kinds of fun stuff. So hopefully I can make a fun, witty, move forward with some fun projects that I've been kind of putting on the back burner for several years, and get some fun things built, because my life's definitely changed from when I built this. I was single with a puppy to now I have 2 dogs, married, a couple of kids, and so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to make stuff work with a bunch of us, but I kind of want to show that it really isn't too big a deal. Even though life will change, you can still keep your baby, the truck that I've poured my heart and soul into for years, and it still runs great. Naturally aspirated 6.2 liter diesel, best diesel engine. Everybody can say that it's not, but this thing's 1985, so 40 years old. It starts up and runs fantastic. It's good for fuel economy. So yeah, time's kind of on my side for that claim. I put in 35 spline axles, ARB locker on the front. The rear is a limited slip. That came stock from the military. These trucks had 456 gears stock. It still has a Turbo 400 and NP208 transfer case. That will eventually be upgraded to an NP241 for the better four-wheel drive. That's always been one of those projects. I upgraded it with an off-road design suspension lift and rear shackles, flip, new front springs from them, the high steer kit, and then also a new power steering gearbox. So a few things that I want to do after having this thing for years is I want to invest in the high steer. Sorry, I have the crossover steering. I need to get the high steer kit on this. It's not as tight on the front end as it used to be after 30,000 miles. So gonna work on that. Also hydro assist. I'm not gonna go full hydro steer, but I do want hydro assist because that has so many benefits with big tires, and it's just, yeah, it's just something to make life a lot nicer. And you know, the back, the camper area has always been pretty Spartan. I'll probably keep it pretty Spartan because it works. The kids love it. Like, why fix what ain't broke? I do have a new rear winch system to put in. I used to have the same Husky 10,000 pound worm gear winch in the back as I do the front, but the mounting was never ideal and it would just leak all of its fluid out too much of an angle. So I have found a worn M12,000 winch to put back into there. So I got a few other fun projects. I've got 1,000 watts of solar to put on this. I don't know when I'll get to the rear clamshell design I have. That's kind of like a 10-year long project, but kind of a cool thought to make this thing double the size when we're camped. And then also just dinking around with it. I'm gonna horse around with the centralized tire inflation system. I also have some pneumatic, like a new system I want to put in this for just airing up and lowering tire pressure. Fun things to come ahead on that. But I guess overall, what I would like to just share is the ethos of, like, I don't know, just use it. This thing only goes 65 miles an hour. Like, the speed limit's 80 on the interstate. If that bothers you, yeah, don't let it. So, you know, the wise man once says, never pay full price for late pizza, except it's actually the journey's the point, not the destination. So that's kind of been the ethos of this truck forever, is the journey versus the destination. But anyways, yeah, just trying to give a little bit of what the thought process was behind this. I used to do a blog or threads on Expedition Portal, and it's great. I don't know. We'll see how YouTube goes. I have lots of ideas to share and fun things to do, and it's kind of a fun experiment.